Howdy, Possum Patty here, and it's Slow Stitch Sunday, so come on along. I've done a lot of experimenting in this journal so far. This is my very first Slow Stitcher. I did an interactive page where this flips up. I used applique. Oh, sorry, the cat just jumped off my shoulder. Did a dangle, used some yarn. Tried out a pin to see how that would work, and it's making it very bulky, but we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it. This is my blue and yellow Ukrainian flag lost children page. And now I am into the center of the first signature. And there are only 2 signatures in here, but I have a feeling this is going to be a chunky, just like all my journals, right? I think on this page, because this is a little short, I'm going to use a scrap of fabric and make like a block and then sew it in. I think I was talking about this. I didn't need this this design. I wasn't going to do 2 peacock feathers across from each other. So this goes pretty well, though it's probably going to get all covered up. So I'm going to work on this like a separate block, and then when I'm done, boy, is this thing wonky. That's okay. Wonky's just fine. I will sew it in here, and then after I've sewn it in to this page, then this whole thing will get sewn together. So this is just one of the squares you can buy pre-cut at Walmart. You get a pack with a whole bunch of different patterns like this. I cut this one down just a little bit though so it would fit in there. These are fun to work with if you like quilting or stitching or journaling or whatever, because you get a bunch of different patterns. Alright, so I don't need my book because I'm going to work outside of my book this time. And I have this crazy idea for sticks and stones because it's that time of year where you start spending more time outside. And I collected up a couple of twigs and I ran them through the microwave real quick because I didn't want to bring any bugs in the house because I don't want bugs eating my Just Because book. I don't know, these are probably going to break after a while in the journal, but let's see. Maybe if I get it sewn down. Oh, see, like that. They're kind of brittle because they're old. This one's got some lichen on it. Well, I think I solved my problem by switching from the oak to the willow. And this is from my curly willow, so they're more interesting to look at. They're very curvy. And willows are more flexible than oak. So hopefully they won't snap. I'm thinking of dipping them into the Mod Podge to kind of preserve them a little bit. But before I sew these on here, I'm thinking of putting on some more scraps of material, make the background a little bit more interesting. And I have so much of this strips for quilting because I found somebody at a yard sale last year that was just wanted to get rid of it. And I got a whole ton of it for very little price. I have enough to last me a lifetime for sure. I don't quilt. And I thought I'd be using them in my journals. And I do use them in my journals, but I think this Just Because book is going to help me use up some of these scraps. I like this piece because it does look like rocks. I'm going to put it at the bottom. I like this piece because it looks like stems. And I like the top piece because it looks like little flowers. I know that's a weird combination, and I love these little color marks that are on the side of the material, so I wanted to leave that on. Well, this color matches this. And we do have purples and blues, sort of like what's up there. I don't know if these came in the same pack or not. They may have. Yeah, I think they did. I think these all came together in one pack. And this one. And this one. But this is a different one. This is more of a batik. It's pretty. That could go on there too, but tiny pages. There'll be more pages to do. Usually I like to put the big pieces on the bottom and get smaller as I go to the top. So I'm going to do something different now and have the big piece at the top and the small piece at the bottom. This really goes against what I would normally do, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I'll probably go find my embroidery thread and stitch these on, but before I do that, then I'm going to be putting rocks on here. These are Sodalite, and they're polished. And they do have little holes in them, so hopefully I can get those sewn on. And then I'll get some twigs going on here. So this is my Sticks and Stones page. So it's going to look something, you know, something like this. I think that'll make for a very interesting page. Something different, Sticks and Stones. I can even put that one up there, a couple down here. 3 stones, 3 twigs. I get some stitching going on there. Alright, but while I'm stitching, I could be letting these things dry. So, let's see, do I want to paint them? Well, they're already green like the green in here. I need something to dry them in. This is from Cookies or something. What if I just... Now this is all an experiment. I have a willow tree out front, so if this doesn't work, I'll just go out and get some more. I'm just going to coat it like that. Hopefully it doesn't stick to that plastic container. I'm dipping them into Sparkle Mod Podge as an experiment. If you want to keep like dried flowers and things flexible, you're supposed to use silicone somehow. But I notice if you paint something like a leaf with acrylic, it also stays flexible. So I'm hoping that this Mod Podge does the same thing. And I am just dipping them in there. And then when my page is done, I will sew them. I don't want them to stick together though. And I probably won't use that little one. I had to pick another one. I think I'll just work with these. Probably put 3 on. This gives me a choice of 4. These are kind of little. And I will let that dry and see how it comes out. Well, I guess this is part 2. After I filmed part 1, I did take my little block into the living room, sit with the fam, watch some TV, and I did a little bit of stitching here and here. And then today I had a lot of appointments and driving around and all that stuff, so I threw everything into this bag. And I took it with me, and I did get a little bit more done over here and up here. Now my idea was, these were the 3 materials, right? So on the bottom one, it's kind of blocky. So I'll probably put in some lavender stitches, just kind of like around the blocks, sort of random, blocky style. And then the middle kind of looks like leaves or stems, and they're like little dots or something like that. And so I decided to do straight stitching vertically, and I'm going to add a few more colors in here but leave some black in between. And then the third material were these little, I have no idea what they are, blobswood stems. Let's call them blobswood stems, or drops of paint dripping, I don't know. And I decided to do horizontal on these, so I'm going across this way here, and so horizontal, then vertically here, and then doing both down here. And I did try to cut these a little bit unevenly so I could see a little bit of the background in a couple places. I didn't want them, you know, just to be the same size and 3 straight rows. I'll probably do something around these numbers, but leave the numbers. This is like the die test on the side of the material, but I like that. This week it was Friday the 13th, so we definitely have to leave that. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm tired, it was a busy day, is take this back into the living room and do a little bit more stitching on here. Some of this vertical and some of this blocking, and a little bit more horizontal up here. Maybe not a lot more, but I want to get some more stitching on there. And here's what my little sticks look like that I dipped into the Mod Podge. Nice and sparkly. And as soon as I get a little bit more sewing on there, then I'll probably come back and show you. I'm going to stitch these on somehow, and then put my little stones, a couple little stones down here or somewhere. The lighter ones show up a little better, I think. Sort of like that. Something like that. Make a very interesting page here. Okay, that will be back for part 3. This is now day 3 of Sticks and Stones, and I do have my sticks all sewn on to my little block, and I use this sparkly thread. Now, I bought this at the metal scrapyard because they have a building there where I guess the owner, she does those storage unit wars things where they go out and bid on storage units, and she buys a bunch of junk and puts them in the building. So while Mr. Possum walks around, looks at scrap metal for different projects he's working on, I go through the little building there, and one day I found some sewing things, so I think that's where that came from. But my sticks were dipped in Sparkle Mod Podge and sewn on with this sparkly thread. And there they are. I'm going to put my stones down there, but before I do that, I don't know, I feel like it needs some stitching right there. I put a little stitch on the edge here. I think I'm just going to leave these numbers just like that. And there's this like red cranberry in a couple places because of the pattern on here had this dark red. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and use that. Now these were vertical and these were horizontal, so I think I'm going to keep with the horizontal theme over here and just go ahead and make a few stitches horizontally. And then I'm going to get ready to sew on the stones. Sometimes this happens. I don't pull it tight and then the knot is not in the right place. The knot is not in the right place. Okay, I think I got it now, yep. So this is day 3. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Monday was very, very busy with appointments and took almost all day. So I did the sticks while watching TV. And today's Tuesday. And I should be doing my Trash Tuesday, but I'd like to finish this up first. And we were out all day. Keyboard lessons and errands and all kinds of things. Getting late, but I just got to this now. And I'd like to finish it if I could. All I have to do is sew on a couple of rocks. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. What's the difference between a rock and a stone? There's an interesting question. Well, in the Possum Patty Nature Book, rocks are wild and stones are tame. So if it's in the wild, it's a rock. But once you pick it up and use it for something, it becomes a stone. So there might be rocks out in the field, but when you pick them up and build a wall out of them, it's a stone wall. Yeah, I just thought this side was flopping around too much. So I put some stitches, sort of getting further apart as I go towards the top, so they're not all even Steven. Okay, well that helps. That helps. Now I feel better with that. There's always like one more thing I do, one more thing, and then nothing gets done. But that's okay. So I got to get all this sewing stuff moved aside so I can work on something else. I got an idea for my trashy. All right, what am I going to use to sew these? Oh, do I have a needle that will fit? I had this needle with this tiny, tiny, tiny eye in it, and I don't know what I did with it. I gotta go find it. Okay, I'm gonna go with a thread that's sort of the color of the background. I pulled out a couple other choices, but I didn't want to go that dark. Now these stones have holes in them because they came in a bead set, you know, from Michaels, and I found the needle that was small enough to go through that tiny, tiny hole. Now, do I want to just put it on through that hole and let it dangle, or do I want to sew it right on there? I'm not really sure what I want to do. Let's see. Because I could just put some webbing over it, hold it down. Of course, I can always cut it off if I don't like how it looks. So I'm just coming up close next to the stone. These are sodalites. Represent the sea. I'll have to put some in my summer journal. I'm going to put a few random pieces. And probably go look for what other rocks I have that I could put in my journal. Sticks and stones. Oops, this one's kind of towards the end. That might slide off. All right, let's put one more here. One in the middle there. Oh, that might work. Why not? Or I should say, just because. Just because, okay? Because now this is the third day. I have no idea what I've been talking about the first day or even the second day. So it's going to be hard to attempt any kind of conversation while I'm doing this. Okay, let's go with it. Well, let's go one more time here. One more time. Okay, scissors. Okay, first I was going to go with the dark ones, and then I was going to go with the light ones. I said I was going to go with a combination of light and dark. So I wound up dumping them all down here. And maybe even a little one down here. Okay. I'll be right back. Just a couple stitches on each one, once through the hole and then looped around a few times. I put two big ones and two smaller ones on that side. And so now I'm ready to sew this into the Just Because book with all my wicked stitchery in here. And because I put the batting on when I sewed this page, I don't have to worry about that. I just have to sew this in. And that is just going to go right like that. I made it a little larger. So you're going to see a little bit around the edge. Because this page was a little small for some reason. But that doesn't matter. So this is just going to go in there like that. I'm going to take a pin probably. I don't know where I'm going to stick it through with all this stuff on these pages. And maybe I won't take a pin. There's no place to pin it. Okay. Fuss, 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 fuss. Could pin it there. I think I want it to go this way a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. So if I put it there, okay, that's good. Now how am I going to sew it? I'm going to sew it with embroidery thread. something, 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 something. Something, something, something. Do I want light? Do I want dark? Do I want to introduce a new color? Sure, why not? It's in the same family, just a little lighter. Almost as color as that one. It's a little something different. Oh, my little stones are everywhere now. So then I can clean this up and move on to the next journal. A little threader here. Back to the larger needle. Oh, I think this is a smaller, larger needle. Let's see if I can get it through. Nope. Nope, nope. That's a smaller, larger needle. I need a larger, larger needle. Try this one. This one looks good. Yeah. Yippers. Now when you do your slow stitching or your embroidery, do you split this up and do like 3 threads or 2 threads, or do you always just use the 6 threads? I've just been using the 6 threads. I'm just going to start at the back. And you know, wow, that page really is crooked. Now, let's see. All right, let me get this straight. Well, as you can see, I just kind of whipped across the top, bending the fabric because it was a little larger to this side. And then down the side, I did like a straight stitch. And then again across the bottom, just kind of bent it in towards the other side. I don't know why. Just because. Just because. I think it looks okay. And there it is. But you know what? I think there's one more thing that I'm going to do. One more thing. And that is put some of this clear tacky gel glue on the stone so so those little tiny threads don't slip off. Now I did use this on my obos, and obos is sort of like a human-made creative pile of rocks. And these are rocks I picked up and glued them together and coated them with this clear gel. It's sitting here on my windowsill. So I know it does stick to rocks. So what I am going to do, number one, is try not to make a mess. And just put, just put a little bit of this clear gel. Haven't used this in a while. You'll wait for it to come down. Well, this was quite the project. I worked for several days in my garden journal. And now it's taken me 3 days to do this one page. So if you've been wondering where I've been actually all over the place, but working on this. I call my sticks and stones idea done for now. Yeah, I get these ideas in my head and I just have to do them. So I think this will hold that thread on there. This dries shiny, crystal clear. And ta-da! That is that. What a mess I made. That's okay. I will get to cleaning it up and pulling out something else. Well, it's a sparkly, colorful, abstract nature, sticks and stones page. Lot of fun there. Well, thanks for coming along. Now that my hands are all sticky, I can't touch anything. Thanks for coming along today. That's what I was going to say. And happy slow stitching in your Just Because book. Bye-bye. Oh, I got some more good ideas coming up. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.